Alright, kiddos, looking at section 5-4B, we're going to identify and simplify special products. So this is like part 2 of multiplying a binomial by a binomial. You can still use what we learned in that section, but these are some tricks that can help you speed up the process. And they'll come even more handy towards the end of this chapter when we'll start going backwards. So what I'm talking about here are two types of situations. One is where you have a plus or minus b all squared, and the other is when you have a plus b times a minus b. Those a's are the same numbers, and those b's are the same numbers. That's really important. So the pattern for squaring a binomial, that's this first one here. Squaring a binomial. You take the first number and you square it. Then you take double the first number times the second number. And then you take the second number and you square it. And the only difference with the plus or the minus is whether you have a plus or a minus. So let's look at where this comes from. Squaring a binomial. So let's say I've got x plus 6 squared. A is x and b is 6. And we know that that's the same thing as x plus 6 times x plus 6. And like I said, you could just FOIL it, and you would get x squared, 6x, 6x, and 36. Now what you'll notice is every time you just FOIL it, you end up with the first number squared, a squared, plus two sets of the same thing, that's x times 6 times 2, 2 times a times b, which gives you 12x, and then the second number squared. So that's the pattern and where it comes from. So instead of FOILing, I can do x plus 6 squared by doing x squared plus 2 times x times 6. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 6 squared. Let's try another one. What if I had x minus 4 squared? Take the first number, square it. 2 times x times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Second number squared. We'll try some more after we look into the second pattern. Alright, so in this one you've got A the same and B the same, but you have a plus and a minus sign. This is different from the previous one because you've got one plus and one minus. So what you'll notice is if you were to FOIL it, you get 4x squared minus 8x plus 8x minus 16. And what you'll notice then in this pattern, the middle two terms will cancel each other out. And you'll be left with the first number squared minus the second number squared. So you can simply say first number squared minus second number squared. For example, if I had x minus 3 times x plus 3, first number squared minus second number squared. Let's try some patterns here. This letter A is the second pattern. So I take the first number and I square it and I subtract the second number. B, this is like the first pattern. I take the first number and I square it. I take the first number times the second number. 7 times 4 is 28. Times 2, I need 2 of them. 28 times 2 is 56. And then I take the second number and I square it. Why don't you try C and D on your own? See if you can follow the pattern. Okay, in C is like the first pattern. I take the first number and I square it. The first number times the second number, that's 36, times 2, that's 72. Then I take the second number squared. D, that's like the second pattern where the middle term disappears. I have opposites. So I take the first number and I square it and I subtract the second number squared. Alright, why don't you guys get some more practice on My Math Lab? Remember to always show your work.